Name of the Abhiyan itself is Vakaf Sudhar Janjagaran Abhiyan. This was after the bill was passed in both houses of the parliament and signed by the President of India. Our Honorable National President J.P. Nadaji had created a national committee which is led by a General Secretary Radha Mohan Das Agarwal ji. I am one of the members. And across India, we are conducting this campaign. The main purpose of this committee, as well as this Abhiyan, is to ensure that our public, our 140 crore citizens, are aware of why these reforms were created. In the houses of the parliament, our leaders, including Home Minister Amit Shah ji and even our national president, our minority affairs minister Kiran Rijiju ji, they all had very clearly specified why this bill was brought in and the advantages this it could bring. I just briefed it also. But then, since there are certain attempts by the opposition to create false narrations, especially dangerous attempts by our opposition to create violence in some part of the country by instigating certain communal passions and disharmony, which you are seeing in some parts of the country, we have understand that it is our responsibility and duty to make our people understand why we are doing it, the positivities of it, how this bill can uplift our population, including poor Muslims, but not just limited to poor Muslim communities. Even there are other communities who benefit out of this also. So we are laying the truth in front of the people, and this is the purpose of this Abhiyan, which we will be conducting across India. This looking after the running of these Waqf properties, there is a huge difference here, and the India Alliance members, including Congress Party, they are willfully misguiding the public and trying to create law and order situations in some parts of the country. This is deplorable. The Bharatiya Janata Party, at the same time, we understand that the great people of India have always supported our Prime Minister's reforms as well as vision, and that is why in the last 10-11 years we could make many transformative reforms, and every time the people have stood by the Prime Minister and our party, which is the main reason why in 2024, just for the second time in India's 75 plus year history, a Prime Minister and a government has come back for the third time. It is because of the trust our people have shown in our Prime Minister and our party and our alliance. And we are very sure that despite all these negativities that is spread, the divisive agenda that is being spread by our opposition, the people of this country will stand by our Prime Minister and his latest set of transformative reforms. Thank you. Here also. In the last amendment brought in 2025, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has ensured that now all these malpractices end and the Waqf properties will be used and the proceeds from there will be used for the purpose for which the Waqf boards were created from the beginning. Many years back, centuries back itself, these Waqf properties, it came because of Islamic laws where the rich Muslim brothers, they were donating some part of their properties for taking care of their poorer brethren. This is why this was created many years back. But later now, because of certain issues, it has become a den of corruption and mismanagement. Now, according to the new laws that were passed by the parliament, within the next 6 months itself across India, every property has to be registered online in a portal with their deeds. So you need deeds to register. So the mutawalas have to register the properties. So everything will be made more transparent, accountable, and the proceeds from there will be going for the upliftment of our poor Muslim brothers and sisters. And there are provisions to ensure that even women, divorced women, orphans, etc., will also be getting the certain parts of the proceeds. Earlier, in the before the amendment, our minority Muslim communities like Boras, like Ahmadiyas, Aga Khanis, etc., they did not have a provision to create their own Waqf boards, and they were also not having any kind of representation in most of the state and central council. Now, after the amendment, our Honorable Prime Minister has ensured that the Waqf boards become more inclusive, and even the minority among the Muslim community, like the Boras, the Ahmadiyas, Aga Ghanis, etc., will also have representation in all the boards in the central as well as the state level. So these are all the reforms that had been brought. The most important is that the Article 40 do not exist any longer. And now there is women empowerment and there is greater inclusivity even among the Muslim community. And we have ensured that the Waqf boards, which are the largest private land holdings in India, almost 37 lakh, almost 40 lakh acres of land across India, it will be used in a manner which is transparent, efficient, and it will be used for the upliftment of the Muslim community across India. So these are the amendments. At the same time, it is very disappointing to see the India Alliance members, the Congress party, which and some of the other India Alliance members also, for example, TMC in West Bengal, etc., that is using this opportunity to create instabilities across India. Right now, they are willfully trying to create false narrations. They are creating communal polarizing narrations. They are creating disharmony by spreading false narrations, including claims that the Muslim properties, etc., will be taken over, etc., which is absolutely false. This is only, there is a huge difference between Waqf properties and Waqf boards. Waqf properties are different. Waqf board is just an administrative. We are a thriving democracy where we have very strong institutions. That is what makes us a thriving democracy. The Bharatiya Janata Party always have showed the highest respect for our institutions, unlike our opposition parties. In the last 10-11 years, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji led government had created many transformative reforms in India, including the GST reforms, that was one of them. Even the abrogation of 370, there was the removal of triple talaq. Many of these occasions, yes, our opposition did use many avenues, including looking at legal avenues, to see if this could be prevented. But then the will of the people and our institutions always were supporting our institution, our activities, because it was meant to support the broader national interest and our public interest. The Waqf Amendment Bill, as you rightly said, was passed in the Lok Sabha as well as the Rajya Sabha. It is signed by the President of India also. So now it is the law of the land. But certain people have given certain petitions in the court. There was a, and there is nothing to be, it is what we expected. There is nothing unexpected. The court has refused to stay there. But court has refused to stay the act, which was the main essence of the petition. That hasn't happened. There were certain questions that the court has raised, which were all discussed in the JPC in a very elaborate manner for a couple of years. So there were parliamentarians from all political parties, not just the Bharatiya Janata Party, even in the opposition, including the Congress Party, the TMC, etc., who are all part of the JPC. Even many established parliamentarians from the opposition were all part of the JPC, and in 2, 3 years, there were deliberations. So questions were asked, and the court has given the government some time to clarify it. We are very sure that the government will clarify it, and after that, we are very sure that 100% this bill will be amended across India. Friends in the media fraternity, I thank you all for coming. Today I joined by the state conveners of the Waqf Sudhar Jan Jagran Abhiyan of Assam, convener Sri Rubak Sarmaji, co-convener Dr. Safreen Mejabinji, and Assam BJP's media coordinator Sri Rubaji. Today I would be speaking on an amendment, certain reforms, some of the transformative reforms, recent reforms that had been introduced by our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, that government. There was a workshop regarding the same some time back, and coming here from there, which is why I apologize for the slight delay. Just 1 week back, our Honorable Prime Minister led government in both the houses of the Parliament, the Lok Sabha as well as in the Rajya Sabha, a bill, the Wakaf Amendment 2025 bill was passed, and now the Honorable President of India has signed it also. Now it is the law of the land. These were a set of transformative reforms that were brought in by our Prime Minister to ensure that our Wakaf boards become more transparent, more efficient, more effective, and they would be doing it will be used for the activities for which it was originally meant for. As you are all aware, India is the country which has the largest Wakaf board properties in the world. At this moment, even there are more properties than many national assets, but these are all private holdings. There are certain administrative organizations which are the Wakaf boards that are looking at the administration of the Wakaf properties across India. According to a Sachar committee that was created during the UPS time in 2006, there were almost 37 lakh acres of Wakaf properties across India. At that point of time, it was valued at over 10 lakh crores, from which almost 12,000 crores of revenues were expected annually in 2006. But then the registered revenue was around 162 crores. This is 20 years back. Now in 2025, even last year, the registered revenue from that was 166 crores. We are all very sure that the total Wakaf properties and their valuation has increased quite a lot between 2006 and 2025. In 2013, during the Congress-led UPA time, there was also certain amendments, including the inclusion of Article 40, which gave a lot of draconian as well as arbitrary powers for many of the Wakaf boards across India. They could claim any property, and then the onus was on the person whose property the Wakaf board was claiming to prove that the property belonged to them and not the Wakaf board. It was a system, an archaic system, where they could go to a Wakaf tribunal, but they did not have the option to even go to any legal court in India, including the High Court, if the judgment were not in favor.